Hi, I'm ED-SKaR, and I've once again been dragged back to the dark corner of the internet that is the Warhammer community posts. And this time we've got, even better than normal, a questionnaire on which character from a famous series are you most like. This can't possibly be good, but as it's about the Gaunt's Ghost, let's see the Gaunt's Ghost return in the Vernacular Insurgency, but which one of them do you identify with most? And of course this is kind of a reminder announcement that the Vernacular Insurgency Ghost Dossier 1 is coming out as a standard issue book rather than the special edition with all the fancy stuff that was out of my price range. So good to see a standard version of that book coming out. I might finally be able to read it. But of course, as this is a quiz, we have some questions. And to start with, question 1. A subordinate has refused to comply with an order. How do you convince them? Interesting. Well, in the real world, I would probably just ignore them, get on with stuff, and then quietly have them move to someone else's team if I could possibly manage that. Let's see what the answers that are actually available are. A. Take him around the corner and let your knife do all the work. Ku, is that you? B. Repeat the order. It'll probably work out this time. Yeah, that never happens. C. Empathise. Let them know you're all in this together and then carefully explain the consequences of insubordination. I thought that was going to be a soft and touchy-feely one, but then no, that's the more manipulative one. Interesting. D. Lead from the front and set an example for all of your soldiers to follow. That sounds the closest to my answer from earlier, so probably that. E. Don't. You're better off alone. Okay, that one doesn't fit me very well at all. And F. What's that? You barely remember giving an order in the first place. Blenner? Probably Blenner is that last one. Blenner wouldn't have been in the Ghosts at this time. Could be anyone. Let's go with D. Lead from the front, set the example. That is kind of my style. Leading from the front, it's either going to be Gaunt or it's going to be Korbeck. I'm leaning towards it being Korbeck. Question the second. You have found yourself with some free time between deployments. What do you do? Do some crafting, paint some models is realistically what I would do. Something along that kind of artistic trend. We'll see what the options are and which one fits that best. A. Do some back channel dealing for a few less than regulation items. A might be Rawn or Merrin. Changing my mind on that. B. Brew up some Sakura and make sure everyone gets a top. That's brag, 100%. C. Find a good place outdoors to relax, whittle and smoke a good cigar. Now I don't smoke, cigars or otherwise, but whittling is sort of an artistic kind of pursuit. That would be appropriate. D. Instill discipline and readiness in your troops so that they are well prepared for the next engagement. Definitely leaning towards that being Gaunt. E. Practice and train. The enemy never stops and so neither should you. Fairly sensible advice there. F. Settle back and go elsewhere. Well, I think we're sticking with C. So we've got one D and one C so far. And let's move on. Haha, I like that poster. Anyway, yeah, moving on. Question the third. It is time for battle. What is your weapon of choice? Standard is your rifle. Lasgun. Practically where I'm at. Light machine gun, realistically, is also a good option. Probably not a crew served. I'm relatively good with pistols when playing airsoft. I've done a lot of training there. But having shot firearm pistols a couple of times, yeah, I'm not particularly good at shots, so maybe not pistols, knives, and that kind of thing. I'll stick with a standard rifle. There'll definitely be a lasgun option in here. But let's see what the answers actually are. A. Your straight silver knife in a dark alley. Again, that sounds more like Ku, but it might be wrong. B. The heaviest, loudest gun you can find. B is definitely brag. Appropriate for the letter B. Tempting, but perhaps not. C. The humble lasgun. The classics never get old. Good. D, a heavy chainsword, so the men can see and hear you on the front lines. Is that why you use a chainsword? That might actually become part of my headcanon for the 40k universe. That the Imperial Guard and the Space Marines use chainswords so much because it's loud. E, the element of surprise. I'm pretty sure E is going to turn out to be McCall. F, a nervous disposition and your trusty Longlass. Well, that answers who F is as well. Well, with the option of Alaskan being chosen, we now have 1D and 2 Cs, which seems to be leaning towards Corbeck for me. But that's just me guessing ahead to the answers because I sort of know how these kind of quizzes go. It's probably not any more intelligent than that. However, we shall move on to the next question. Question 4. Your next appointment... Your next deployment sees you working alongside other regiments from the Astra Militarum. Who would you least like to have your back? A, the Volpone Blue Bloods. B, the Volpone Blue Bloods. C, the Volpone Blue Bloods. You get the idea, every option is the Volpone Blue Bloods. I may as well double down and choose C, the Volpone Blue Bloods. So essentially, this is all done now. And we have our answers coming up in a moment. And so effectively this was a 3-question questionnaire. 3-question questionnaire. There's definitely a better way of saying that. But if we ignore the last question, we have 2 C's and a D. So we can look at the answers. Pretty sure it's going to be a whoever, yeah, mostly A, mostly B, mostly C. Colonel Colum Corbeck, we called that. Your unit is your family, and although you've never quite felt you've earned their respect, you'll do anything you can to be worthy of it. In private, you're approachable, gregarious, and easy to be around. But when it comes time to step up, your bravado sets the example for all who follow behind you. Lovely. Well, Corbeck being the sarcastic and grim member of the regiment, I'm pretty happy with that result. I didn't get coup, thankfully. I didn't get anyone ridiculous like Crazy Mad Larkin, which would have been fun actually. So it's not terrible, but realistically this kind of quiz always goes this sort of way. Pick a couple of letters based on some leading answers and we'll shoehorn you into one of the main characters. And I think that this is another piece of artwork from Anna Lakisova. Certainly some of these images are from Lakisova. I'm pretty sure I've seen Owen McCall and the Bragg image before from Lakisova. I haven't seen the Corbeck one before, or a couple of the others, so I'll see if I can send a message and confirm whether that is her or someone else. Certainly a very similar style. And of course, as this article is an advert for the Vernacular Insurgency coming out in hardback version, that's coming out soon. I do want to get hold of it because it's a Dan Abnett book. It's probably going to be good. But now that I have been renamed as Colonel Corbeck, I can say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.